Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDex, bringing to you a review of DEEEER Simulator, your average everyday deer game on the Nintendo Switch. It is also available on the other consoles as well, but I was very kindly given a review code for the Switch version, thank you very much for that, so that is the version I will be showing. If you'd like to see more like this in the future, then make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks so much, that really helps us out a lot. I did have my eye on this game for quite a while now, being a fan of Goat Simulator several years ago. This looked like it had the same zany, chaotic, bonkers gameplay which always provides the laughs. So let's see if this game is worth your dough, or bucks, or does it feel a bit stagnant? Just the menu screen tells you what sort of game we're getting into. Yep, it's one of those. You begin by creating your character, or you can randomise, which shows off some pretty goofy designs. Then the beginning cutscene plays out and your character dies. Good start. You then get reincarnated as a deer, well, why wouldn't you? So let's go around and cause some mischief. The one thing I'd need to point out first and foremost is the controls in this game are not great. But that is the intention. Goat Simulator had the same idea of being a wonky game and the manic gameplay embraced it. But this one doesn't really succeed in the same way, and I'll explain why in a bit. Use the left stick to move, the B to jump, X to interact with things, ZR to attack, ZL to dash, which comes with an amazing animation, and you press L to stretch out your neck, which gives you a grappling hook style move to latch onto distant objects, but I didn't find this particularly useful or fun to do. So you have this city area where you can freely roam around, smashing things, stealing cars, which also control horribly, brainwashing people into growing deer antlers and following you around, and plenty more like that. Riding the monorail cart is weird. Did he not learn how to drive one of these things? The course is so simple. Mono means one and rail means rail. That's all there is to it. But this is not a game where you simply run around aimlessly. There is some form of structure to the narrative, you'd be surprised to hear. In the top right corner there is a disaster meter with a letter grade E. As you cause mayhem, that will fill up, and when you go up a letter grade, the police will come after you. The police happen to be sheep, by the way. In a world where humans clearly exist, the police are all sheep. What on earth am I playing? Once you've wiped out that wave of police and caused enough damage to increase your level more, you get extra waves of police, including polar bears in cars, but they aren't driving them, they're sort of wearing them or something. And when you get to the A rank, you get a big boss, being a doggo who combines with other animals to become a giant mech. Seriously, what on earth am I playing? When it comes to the gameplay and controls in itself, it has the right idea in places, but falls flat in others. I can take intentionally bad controls in a game that has little consequences like Goat Simulator, but this has a level structure, enemies to fight, and a health bar. If you die, you have to start that area all the way from the beginning. It doesn't take too long to grind your way back up, but grinding in anything is never fun to have to redo. There are achievements in this game and your progress for them doesn't get lost, thankfully. One curio you find is this giant cow who wants a game of Othello. Strangely enough, you accept this, but this will also restart your disaster rating even though it doesn't take you out of the level. What a bizarre choice. So when it comes down to the fact that you're running around this area, destroying things, jumping into vehicles, or riding cows that propel into the air by shooting milk out of their udders, then the wonky controls are all part of the fun. They're not as hard as something like Octodad or I Am Bread, which I feel I should mention since you can play as that very slice of bread from that game. Seriously? But when it comes to the fact that you need to do combat in this game, fighting off the police with a few variations of enemies, as well as a few boss fights, then this is where the game falls flat and becomes frustrating. As I said, if you die, you need to restart the area again from scratch, and when your death feels like it's down to the bad controls or camera that needs to be further out, then it becomes a real problem. With practice it did get better, but that initial time I spent with this game, I wasn't having a good time. When I discovered I could pick up multiple guns at the same time and have a huge arsenal on me, launching bullets left, right and centre, I began to appreciate this game for what it is a bit more. The actual campaign of this game isn't very long. There are 2 areas to go to, the second being a futuristic version of the first, and I won't show too much of it, but the enemy designs get even crazier there. And there are 2 different endings as well, which come from a decision you get to make towards the end, and I really did enjoy the way each of them went. Graphically, the game has a cartoony art style with a lot of bright colours. There are some strange designs and nothing obeys the laws of physics, but I suppose I could say it is unique. Despite making me think of Goat Simulator at first, this really is its own thing. And there are also some really creepy moments as well, such as this koala climbing the tower. If its attention turns to you, it will attack, and it is absolutely terrifying. I'll say it one more time. What on earth am I playing here? The music for the most part is minimalistic, with more of it being the ambient background noises, but when the police show up, the music pumps up, getting you ready for the action. And the sound effects can get crazy too. Sophie heard me playing this Cow Fellow game and wondered what on earth was going on. The achievement system is what will prolong the game for most people, given that the campaign is very short, but even then there aren't a whole lot, although the game keeps most of them hidden so you need to discover them for yourself, which I did appreciate. It encouraged more exploration and got me to look around and discover things I could have easily overlooked, although I've never worked out what that flying elephant does. The game costs £15.09 on the eShop, and there is also some DLC costing £3.59 called The Final Evolution of DEEEER, which I haven't played, but the screenshots do look insane. Personally, I don't think this game is worth the asking price. It needed to be under £10 as this is pretty light on content overall. The campaign took me around 2 hours to beat, and most of that was wondering what I was meant to do next. And the controls, although they're intentionally bad, they don't always lend themselves to the game they've created, which does hamper the experience. And there is also the issue of this game's performance as well, and again it's one of those, it's intended to be bad I think, but how crazy the camera could be, how glitchy it is, and the frame rate, it can hurt your eyes at times. If this goes on sale and you have people you can have a laugh with, then this does provide some fun and aforementioned laughs, whether it be at the good sense of humour that the game displays, or just at how broken the game is, you'll have a pretty good time with it. If you have Game Pass, this game is currently available on there, and it's definitely worth a download. It's pretty easy achievements if nothing else. So those were my thoughts on DEEEER Simulator on Nintendo Switch. What do you think of this one? Is it something you'd like to try? Let me know in those comments down below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe to keep up with us in future videos. Thank you so much for watching everyone. I will see you in the next one.